Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at a story about, well, navigating some serious career hurdles.
It's about resilience, really, and finding your way when things look pretty bleak.
Exactly. And our mission here is to pull out the key insights from this journey, especially for you listening if maybe you're feeling a bit overwhelmed or facing rejection yourself.
It happens to a lot of people.
It really does. Our source material today comes from excerpts called itsupport.pdf. It details one person's quite extraordinary path.
And the core challenge is pretty stark, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This is someone who faced, get this, 100 failed job applications, but refused to quit.
Wow, 100.
Yeah, we're talking about Raj. He came from India to Australia as an international student, arrived with basically a backpack, his student visa, and a laptop he borrowed,
Just starting out?
with this one big goal: become an IT support engineer. So let's unpack how that went.
Okay.
So Raj lands in Perth, Australia. This is back in early 2022. He's there for a master's in information technology.
Full of high hopes, you imagine.
Definitely. And knowing his family had sacrificed a lot. I mean, pulling together tuition fees involved loans, selling land, borrowing from relatives. It was a huge deal for them.
A lot of pressure there.
For sure. And his plans seemed simple enough, right? Study hard, get some experience, land a decent IT job, build a future.
The standard path, you'd think.
But reality hit him pretty quick, like within 2 weeks.
Oh, really? What happened?
He realized his university classes were mostly theory, you know? But the jobs, they all wanted hands-on experience, stuff he just wasn't getting in class.
Ah, that classic disconnect. Academia versus industry needs.
Exactly. So he recognized this gap pretty fast and thought, okay, I need to get internships, part-time IT roles, started applying right away.
Makes sense. Proactive.
But the result? His first 50 applications, absolutely zero responses, not even a no thanks.
50. Wow, that's brutal. And it's interesting how quickly he spotted that gap between the theory and the practical skills needed.
Yeah, he saw it straight away.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do students or learners face this and maybe don't realize it quite so fast? Or don't know how to bridge it? Raj figuring that out early was key.
And it wasn't just the job rejection emails or lack thereof. His daily life was, well, a real struggle.
How so?
He had a part-time job at a petrol station, often working night shifts, just to cover rent, food, and trying to send a little bit of money back home.
Wow, that's incredibly tough, juggling studies and survival, essentially.
Totally. And his living situation, he was sharing a room with 3 other people, often had to skip meals,
Okay.
but somehow any free moment he had, he was back at it, customizing his resume again, writing another cover letter, just relentless.
The dedication is something else.
But even he reached a point, doubts creeping in. He actually thought, maybe I'm just not cut out for this field.
Understandable. That kind of pressure and rejection, it wears you down. Anyone would question themselves.
Right. But here's the turning point. Instead of quitting, he thought, okay, this isn't working. I need to change my approach.
And that is fascinating.
Right.
Because so many people hit that wall of self-doubt and, well, they stop or they keep doing the same thing. What's crucial here isn't just the struggle, but that decision to actually shift strategy. Not just push harder, but push differently.
Exactly. He didn't just try harder. He totally rethought it. Started actively reaching out to people on LinkedIn.
Networking, smart.
Yeah, going to meetups, volunteering at local tech events, and crucially, after every rejection, he started asking for feedback. Like, what am I missing? Why didn't I get it?
Trying to learn from the failure, that takes guts.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then, after application number 100, one company finally replied.
Okay, here we go. The breakthrough.
Well, sort of. This is where it gets interesting. The offer wasn't for a paid job.
Uh-oh.
It was an unpaid internship at a small managed service provider, an MSP, there in Perth.
Unpaid.
Yep.
After all that struggle.
Right, most people, especially in his financial situation, would have just said, no way, I can't afford to work for free.
Absolutely. You need to eat, pay rent.
But Raj, he said yes.
He said yes to an unpaid role. Wow. That really goes against the grain, doesn't it? Why do you think he did that?
It seems he saw it differently.
Yeah, I mean, that raises a big question. Why was that seen as the opportunity? It's fascinating. He must have recognized this was his shot, his chance to finally get the hands-on learning, prove himself, get that real-world experience onto his CV.
Looks like it.
He prioritized skills over immediate cash, which, under those circumstances, is a really, really strategic and maybe even brave decision.
And it meant his schedule became well, insane. For the next 3 months during that
I
internship,
can only imagine.
Monday to Wednesday, he's at the MSP during the day, then university classes in the evenings.
Okay.
Then Thursday to Sunday, he's working the graveyard shift at the petrol station.
Good grief. When did he sleep?
The source literally says he barely slept.
Yeah.
But the payoff, in terms of what he learned, huge.
So what kind of skills did he pick up?
A lot of the crucial technical stuff, troubleshooting Windows 10, Windows 11 devices, managing support tickets, configuring Office 365.
Standard IT support tasks.
Right. Plus tools like Intune for device management, Active Directory for user accounts, Microsoft Exchange for email. He got familiar with ticketing systems too, Zendesk, Freshdesk, Halo PSA,
Industry tools. Good.
and remote support tools like AnyDesk, TeamViewer, plus the basic networking knowledge, IP addresses, DNS, DHCP, all that foundational stuff.
So a really practical grounding.
Definitely. But it wasn't just the tech skills, he also really built up his soft skills.
Equally important. Maybe more so sometimes.
Things like clear, polite communication, a real problem-solving mindset, staying calm when things go wrong, and that customer service attitude,
Absolutely crucial in IT support. It's not just fixing the machine, it's helping the person. That blend of tech know-how and people skills, that's often the differentiator, isn't it?
Seems like it.
It really highlights that employers aren't just looking for a list of technical acronyms on a resume. They're looking for someone who can actually communicate, solve problems effectively, and, well, handle the pressure. Makes you think about what they really value.
So the 3 months are up. He finishes the internship.
Yeah.
And the MSP, they didn't offer him a full-time job.
Oh, really? After all that?
Nope. Just a thank you and a really good reference letter.
Okay. Well, a reference is something, I suppose.
It turned out to be the something, because now, armed with that experience on his CV and that letter, he started applying again.
And this time?
This time, things were different. Within a month, he landed his first paid IT support role.
Fantastic.
Yeah, at a medium-sized logistics company, earning $65,000 a year.
That's a solid start. A huge leap from unpaid work and night shifts.
Absolutely. He said himself it wasn't glamorous, but it was his start. He was finally actually doing the job he came to Australia for.
And it's just amazing how that one piece of validated experience, even unpaid short-term experience, just opened the door.
It made all the difference.
It really did. It wasn't the dream job, maybe, but it was that absolutely critical next step. Shows the path isn't always straight, is it? Sometimes those seemingly small, maybe even unconventional opportunities are the ones that propel you forward. That reference proved he could do the job.
So looking back at Raj's journey, he shared some really valuable advice, particularly for other international students, but honestly, I think it applies much more broadly.
What did he say?
He said, and this is a quote, "Don't just chase jobs, chase learning. Learn to be okay with unpaid work if it gives you skills."
That echoes his own choice, clearly.
Exactly. He added, "Build a real LinkedIn profile, connect with recruiters, and share what you're learning. You may fail 99 times, but it takes just one yes to change your life."
That persistence.
Wow.
One yes.
And he really hammered home the soft skills point, too. So don't underestimate soft skills, saying, "Let me help you fix that." With confidence matters more than just listing skills on your resume.
That's so true. Confidence in communication.
He was also strategic about certifications, didn't spend a fortune. He used free resources like Microsoft Learn, got the Google IT support certificate through Coursera using their financial aid,
Resourceful.
and self-studied for the CompTIA A+, just focused on accessible ways to boost his credentials.
Smart move. Practical.
And remember, during that unpaid internship, his financial management was incredibly disciplined. Strict budgeting, cooking at home, using student discounts,
Had to be a...
shared accommodation, just $150 a week, using public transport or walking everywhere. And interestingly, he only took the minimum petrol station shifts he needed to survive, specifically to avoid burning out completely.
That's foresight. Protecting his energy for the long game.
Yeah. And get this for resourcefulness, he even started a small YouTube channel, sharing basic IT tips, but in Hindi, made a little bit of money from ads.
Wow, finding extra income streams even then, that's impressive.
Just finding ways to make it work.
It really paints a picture of, well, total resourcefulness. It connects back to broader principles, doesn't it? Strategic learning, yes, but also relentless networking and just incredibly shrewd financial resilience. It really prompts the question, how can you, listening, apply those kinds of principles. Maybe not the exact same actions, but the mindset to your own field, your own challenges.
Yeah, that mindset is key.
It's fascinating because it wasn't just pure hard work, though obviously there's tons of that. It was also smart work, frugal living, and being creative about survival.
So where's Raj now? Well, today he's working as a level 2 support engineer.
Level 2, nice step up.
Yeah, at a government department in Western Australia. He says he's not rich, but he's stable, he's proud of how far he's come, and very, very grateful.
You can understand why. What a journey.
He left us with a final message, really aimed at anyone facing similar struggles. He said, "Your journey may be slow, painful, and full of rejections, but keep going, learn, grow, ask for help."
Ask for help is important too.
Definitely. Take that unpaid internship, he advises, based on his experience. Keep applying, because one day, your story might just inspire someone else.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And if you connect it all back, his journey just powerfully underscores having that internal locus of control, taking ownership. Believing you can shape your future even when the external circumstances are really, really tough.
Taking agency.
Exactly. It's about your response to adversity. He couldn't control the job market, but he could control his learning, his strategy, his persistence.
What an incredible story to dive into. It really drives home the power of grit, sure, but also that strategic learning and being willing to take paths that maybe aren't the obvious ones.
The unconventional choices sometimes pay off.
They really can. So we hope this gives you something to think about regarding your own journey, your own challenges, and maybe how your story too could eventually inspire someone else. And here's a final thought to leave you with. What's the equivalent of the unpaid internship in your life right now? Is there an opportunity for learning, for gaining invaluable experience that maybe you're overlooking? Perhaps because it doesn't offer that immediate financial reward, but it could just be the key that unlocks your next big break.
Something to mull over.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Until next time.
Keep digging, keep learning, and keep building your own incredible story.